Hey y'all, it's Megan again here on the Lawson Farm. So today we're going to be making strawberry jam. I made a video about that. It's been like last year at this time. But at that time I didn't really know how to make videos, so I thought I would make another one. So I got 4 gallons of strawberries from a local strawberry farm here in the county. And I wanted to go ahead and make me some strawberry jelly. Now, we do have strawberries in our garden. We've got like 9 strawberry plants, but they're not putting off just yet. We still got little green strawberries. The weather just hadn't been quite right here for them to really produce a lot. So I thought I'd go ahead and make me some strawberry jelly today. So what you're going to need is you're going to need your sterilized jars. Doesn't have to be jelly jars. I'm going to use some wide mouth pint jars for us to have here. The jelly jars, I like to use those to give as gifts. You know, if you're into making your own gifts for Christmas, birthdays, things like that, people love homemade jelly. So it does make a great gift, and I like to use my little jelly jars for that. So the first thing we're going to want to do is I've got my strawberries in my strainer here. I'm just going to wash those, and we're just going to cut those green tops out of them, just like you were going to do if you were eating them, okay? So we're going to wash these in cold water. Okay. I'm going to grab me a knife. And we're just going to cut the tops out of them. Just like that. Like I said, just like you would be doing if you were eating them. And then I'm going to transfer to this big glass measuring cup that I have. This is what I'm going to use to mash them. Because altogether we're going to need 5 cups of crushed strawberries with the juice and everything. So I like to use this. But if you don't have a measuring cup like that, you could always just use a bowl and pour them into a smaller measuring cup as you go. And just do it that way. That's fine. And pour them, you can use stainless steel. Won't transfer to the taste. So I use this big stainless steel pot. So whatever kind of pot you have, you just want to make sure it's a pretty good size, and you can transfer your measured strawberry juice into that until you get 5 cups. We're also going to need pectin. So you can either use one of the individual packets. I have, which I've actually used it on and already thrown the container away, but it's a jar of pectin, so I measure it out. So I have 3 tablespoons of my pectin here. You want to go ahead and pre-measure everything, that way there's no delay in the cooking process, because jelly is kind of finicky. So like as soon as it comes to boil, we've got to add this and this, you know, so you want to make sure to go ahead and have it measured out. And we also need 7 cups of sugar. Yeah, I know that's a lot of sugar, but to make our jelly, that's what we got to have. That's what makes it so sweet and good, is all that sugar. So alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get these things washed, get the tops cut out of them, and I'll get back to you. Alright, so it took me about 1 gallon of strawberries to get my measuring cup full. And just from doing this in the past, this is about how many strawberries I need to get my 5 cups of juice / mashed strawberries. So this is considered a jam because we're going to leave chunks of strawberries in it, which is like the best part about jelly is them chunks of strawberries, just in my opinion. I like it that way. But if you want to make plain clear strawberry jelly, what you do is you just strain the juice off of these strawberries. So of course it would take more strawberries to get how much you needed. But if you don't want chunks of strawberries in it, you could just do it that way and just strain the strawberries out of it. So what I use to mash them, this is, I think it's a meat tenderizer. I've never used it for that purpose, but it works good for mashing strawberries. It's got kind of this little edge on it. But you could also use like a potato masher. Most folks around here have one of those. So either way, you could do that. But we're going to go ahead and mash these up and hope that we have 5 cups of juice when we're done. Now when you first start mashing, you're really going to feel like you're not getting anywhere. But it'll come, I promise. First time I ever made jelly, I was like, oh my goodness, these strawberries don't have any juice in them. What in the world? But just keep mashing. It'll get there. Got my strawberries crushed up here. That right there. Got most of the big chunks out. pretty juicy looking. So that's what you want to see. And like I said, if you you want a clear jelly, then you would strain all these strawberries out of this and just get the juice. But I'm just going to tell y'all, them chunks of strawberries in that jelly is absolutely delicious. So the next thing I want to do, I'm going to pour this into my pot here, okay? We're not got any heat on or anything yet. So we're going to pour all that in there. And we're going to go ahead and add our pectin before we cut the heat on. So the pectin is just like a powder. You can buy a Sure gel. It's a gel. But now if you do gel, you need to follow the directions that are on the packet. Because if I can remember right, I haven't used gel in years, but I think you add that during the cooking process, not before. Whereas the powder, you add it before. So like I said, just look at the directions of whatever pectin you buy and see, you know, exactly when you should add it in, because that's going to have something to do with how your jelly sets up. Now, some folks make jelly without adding any pectin. It's a lot longer process because you got to let that fruit boil and boil and boil and boil and boil until it hits that gelling process. And I don't know about y'all, but I ain't got a lot of time on my hands. This is just a much quicker process doing it this way. So I'm going to go ahead and pour my pectin in. Okay. And I'm just going to stir that up. Just till you can't see the powder anymore. Alright. Then we're going to cut our heat on about medium-high. Don't leave your pot. Stay here and stir. And we're going to bring this to a boil. So I have brought this to a full boil. I cut a light on for y'all. There we go. They cannot be, we want it to be boiling enough that it doesn't stop when you're stirring it. Okay? Now I'm going to add in all this sugar. You want to add it all at one time, okay? So that's why it's important to pre-measure. Now what we're going to do is we're going to mix that in. We're going to keep the heat on. And we want this, again, to come to a rolling boil that cannot be stopped with stirring. So it may take a few minutes. Alright guys, so now we're at a rolling boil that cannot be stopped with stirring. As you see, it's still boiling even though I'm stirring it. So we're going to do that for exactly 1 minute. So what I do is I set my timer on my oven. As soon as that 1 minute is over, then we remove this from the heat. So I've taken my jelly off of the heat. And so our next step is we're going to skim. I'm going to try to get where y'all can see it. Skim this foam off of the top of it there. Okay? And we're going to discard that. The old timers will tell you that you're scraping the poison off, that the strawberry, this has boiled the poison out of the strawberries. And it's a step that you don't want to miss, whether it's poison or not. Tried it 1 year, I was feeling lazy, and I didn't scrape it off, and I had like a cement block on top of my strawberries, and on top of my jelly, and I couldn't get down there, in there to eat it. It made like a wall, like the stick on top of my jelly of this foamy stuff. So make sure you don't skip this step and get that foam off of it. And it's best to use a metal spoon. I found the metal spoon, for whatever reason, just seems to scrape it off the best. So I mean, you're not going to be able to get every bit of it off, so just do the best you can, get most of it. We're ready to put it in our jars. So make sure my jars were hot. I've been sitting in hot water, and that way, you know, cold glass, hot liquid, we don't want our jars to bust. Got my lids over here. They were boiling while I was cooking the jelly. That's to activate that seal, make that seal soft, so we will get a seal on our jars. And we'll hot water bath them after. That's our last step. That's something, now don't tell the canning police that I said this. That's not something you have to do, but it will increase the shelf life for your strawberry jelly if you do hot water bath it. that just gets it up to a high enough heat that it, I don't know, it just helps it. It kills bacteria, apparently. Anyways, I did it for a long time without hot water bathing it, and it would, my jelly wouldn't last quite a year. But with the hot water bathing, like, I just ran out of jelly a couple weeks ago that was a year old, and it was still fine. So that's the difference that I've seen. It doesn't spoil nearly as quickly. So, alright, what we're going to do is, I've got my funnel. If you don't have a funnel and you're going to be doing stuff like this, please get one. It will save you a whole lot of headache and a whole lot of mess. Makes life a whole lot easier. So, we're just going to take our jelly and just start filling it up. Filling our jar up. And y'all, when you get done with your pot, go ahead and put it in some hot water, because this stuff gets super duper sticky. Really sticky. Move those so you can see. So I'm putting this right now in a wide mouth pint jar. This will be some that we just have here at home to enjoy. Like I said, I do the jelly jars. These, I do those for gifts and things. So I put it in the bigger jars because my husband eats it like it's going out of style. And y'all, after you make your own jelly, you're literally going to be like Smucker Sue. I ain't playing. That'll be all you want. Alright, so I like to fill it up. I like to fill it up to about that first ring right there. Leave some head space. See how pretty that is? But now it's going to be liquid for right now. It'll take it, sometimes it takes it up to 24 hours to set up. It's got to get cool. You really won't know if your jelly has set until the next day. If it does not set, though, don't let it hurt your feelings. I've had that happen in the past. It still tastes just as good. You just kind of have to pour it on the bread instead of spreading it, but it's fine. It still tastes good. So don't let that dishearten you if that happens to you. Hopefully it won't. So we're just going to put our lid on. This is another little thing. It's a magnet to get my lids out with. Another lifesaver. Alright, let me grab me a ring. Oops. We're going to put that on. I'm going to fill the rest of my jars and we'll get them in the hot water bath. Alright, so now we're ready to put our jars into our hot water bath. I've got a tall stock pot here. There's two things to keep in mind with hot water baths. You have to have the top of the jar covered. The top of the jar has to be underwater. And you have to have something on the bottom of the pot so your glass is not sitting directly on the bottom of that pot. I've got a rack in this pot. The water's already getting hot, so I'm not going to touch it. But I have a rack in the bottom of this. I've heard people have used kitchen towels, fold it up and put it on the bottom. Those metal pie tins, you could put that on the bottom. Just anything that is safe and that your glass is not touching the bottom of the pan, because it will make your jars bust. Also, our time does not start until the water is at a full rolling boil. So our jelly has the hot water bath for 10 minutes, but like I said, that time won't start until this water is boiling. Alright, and that's the jelly making process. Like I said, these will hot water bath for 10 minutes and we'll be done. Let them sit out for 24 hours, like out on your counter. Give them time to seal, give the jelly time to set up. And those jars should be sealed within 24 hours. And you can go ahead and remove the rings. Never store any of your home canned goods with the rings in place. It could cause a false seal, and so that food could really be going bad in there and you don't know. So that's the main reason. And also those rings can cause your lids to rust and break the seal as well. So never store with the rings on, but take your rings off and put it up on the shelf and enjoy. Thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to the channel. I appreciate everyone's support. I hope to do a live video soon, a YouTube live. I ain't got brave enough to do that yet, but I want to do one soon. I do. My channel is growing, and I just could not appreciate everyone more, because this is not work to me. I just love doing it. I love, you know, the canning, preserving, cooking. I like it all. Working in the garden, all that good stuff. So anyways, please consider subscribing to the channel, and I will talk to y'all next time.